everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I am Chris, joined by my brothers Adam.
Hello.
And Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room once more to talk about video games, with this week's episode focused on our first impressions of Resident Evil Village. First impressions, of course, coming from the playable demos that they have released thus far. There's going to be at time of recording, they've released 3, and then there's going to be another 60-minute demo, but I think that's actually just a combination of the Village demo and the Castle demo that have been released to PlayStation players previously. So we're going to give our impressions on those demos, our experiences with them, and also just our thoughts and speculations of the game from that and into the trailers that we have seen so far, and the artwork, that kind of stuff. If you are hoping to keep yourself spoiler free in terms of Resident Evil Village, and if you consider the demos or any of the trailers spoilers, then spoiler warning, I suppose, in this. Obviously, we don't know any information that hasn't already been shared or made public, but if you're someone that has been avoiding the demos, then that is stuff we're going to be talking about. So just giving you a spoiler warning from the get-go, because I know some people, for example, that have avoided the demos because they just want to play the game. Mm-hmm. So just a little warning there. But nothing beyond what has actually been shared. So if you're someone that has experienced it, or you've watched other people play it, maybe you're not a PlayStation player, but you've watched other people's live streams, then you know exactly what we're getting into, and you'll know what we're kind of talking about. But we might have little takes and little opinions on certain stuff that we saw or experienced that we'll want to share back and forth. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we put out future content. There's also 3 live streams of the demos on our channel, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can check those out. They steadily got scarier, or that's at least my take on it, but we'll see what the guys think as we go through. But you can check those out if you want to see what it was like from at least one of our sides. And then if you're listening to us on audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you like to listen to us, be sure to get in touch with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, at The Brothers Take at any point to let us know your take on all the Resident Evil Village stuff shown so far. You can also hit follow so that you are following our episodes. We release one every single week. We're always talking about gaming, and we're loads of crack. So be sure to follow us. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the Village. It was fucking scary, wasn't it? How far back do we want to start? Do we want to start with like Maiden, or do we just want to talk about it all in general, everything that we've kind of seen in one kind of package?
I can't really comment on Maiden other than what you've played.
Right.
I watched you play it, like
yeah.
during the stream.
What was that like? What was that like?
Cool.
Was it frustrating watching me play?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's great.
I think most of us in the chat were just trying to mess with you.
Yeah, I got that.
I don't think you realize who was commenting, but
no,
like, I think every now and then I was like, "What was that behind you?"
Yeah.
There was nothing
What's
behind you.
terrifying is I never play with headphones usually, right? I think the first time we played with headphones was when we were playing like Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer.
Yeah.
And obviously you're using it for the headset and the microphone to talk to whoever you're playing with. So that's really and I was like, holy shit, everything sounds amazing, right? Especially with like fairly decent headphones. But then when you're playing it like a horror game, oh fuck me, like even in the most recent one, the Castle one, you can kind of hear like the hissing of the vampires.
Yeah.
And you don't know where they're coming from. Like I was about to walk down a hallway and I was like, no, I can hear them. Where am I going? And I backed myself into a corner and I was like, I'm gonna wait till they come to me because I don't know where that's coming from. Right?
Yeah.
It's really intense with headphones.
I didn't play with headphones now.
No.
I think
Your ears are right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think obviously you got the 3D audio
Yeah.
engine thing happening.
Yeah.
Would it not help you identify a little bit better about where the sound is actually coming from.
I couldn't. And the other thing
No.
was, and I think, and that's on purpose, right? Like, it's trying to keep you on edge. It's trying to keep you looking over your shoulder, and it's effective that way. I thought actually it was really intense and atmospheric, which was really great. And also, anytime I like opened a door and then walked, the door would close slowly behind you. And so you're a few feet up, you hear a door, and when the door closes, it sounds the same as when it opens. So I was like, what the fuck just came out after me? And I turned around, and it's just that I've closed the door. And I'm just like, oh fuck. Nothing's happened yet, and I'm already fucking shit
out of yourself.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But Eric, you've played. Did you play all 3 demos as well?
I've played all 3 demos. Yeah, I found the Maiden to be the scariest.
Why?
Fuck me. It's
anticipation.
It was the anticipation. You're waking up. It's the first time you're seeing it. You're in the dark cellar. Fuck me, it took me forever to go anywhere. It took me for ages to leave that cellar. So thank God that wasn't the time demo, because I would not have left my goddamn prison cell in the half an hour I was given. Like, I just crap myself so much for that because it was anticipation.
But Maiden's still available, isn't it? Like, anyone can.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, which is great. Like, if someone wants to go well, sorry, it's PlayStation exclusive. And I don't know if it's PS5 exclusive.
PS5 exclusive. Yeah,
it is PS5 exclusive. Right, sorry. So if someone doesn't have PS5, then there's plenty of streams out there you could check out to see what the experience is like. But it was a great way to get a feel of the atmosphere, the graphics, and see what some of the environment was like without kind of worrying about... Like, when they said there was no combat in that one, I was like, oh, grand, I'm going to play it. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll stream it, because I'm not worried about how shitty I'm going to be at fighting things, right? When I've been playing that one. But then I was like, just because there's no combat doesn't mean I won't have to do that kind of hiding shit.
Yeah. There'll be some sort of encounter, maybe.
Right. Yeah. So as soon as I heard anyone laughing or anything, I was like, oh, fuck, no. This is worse than having to fight. This is like having to... it's the hiding from shit that stalks you. Fucks me up in a Resi game. Big time. I still think Resi 7 is the scariest because of that.
It's not. It's really not.
Which do you think is the scariest, Eric? You play more games than any of us.
Well, yeah, actually, I have. I think I've played like one more than yous.
Just Resi 3?
Just Resi 3 Remake. I think it's the only one I've.
Well, you've played 2 more than me.
Oh yeah,
played 2. Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
In fact, actually, you may have played.
Well, I played Darkside Chronicles. I don't think you played that.
I didn't play Darkside Chronicles.
I played that. I think great. Those games get kind of...
You've definitely experienced Resi more than me. You've even watched more films than me.
I watched all the movies. The movies are fantastic.
I watched all of them in one day during lockdown, because why the fuck not? But thank God the game, this Resi 8 from the demos is not the films.
No.
Right? From what I've seen, looks... really, really good.
Yeah, I'm loving the setting there.
Yeah. I think the one thing I had an issue after Village, apart from it being a timed demo, I don't like them being timed demos.
Right.
But the fact that all these, like, because it seems like you're set in like maybe Eastern Europe or something like that, or maybe some sort of Siberian style village. He has the face now. For people who listen to audio can't see, he has the face that he's going to Google right now.
Oh, he's got to check this out.
Yeah.
But back in your face.
all the villagers having the American accents.
Right.
Kind of threw me off because I was like, this is weird, because usually Resident Evil ensures that all the accents are from the location you're set in. Like, like they kind of like the Baker family, Resident Evil 7 have their
Louisiana voices.
Louisiana voice. Resident Evil 4 they got their Spanish voices and so on. So I thought it was very weird with the American, but the werewolves are...
Does this have a setting? Do we know where this is?
That's what
I'm only assuming. I don't know. Like, I just from the names of the people in the village and the name of
it doesn't look it doesn't look or sound like an American setting, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It's really got that Transylvania vibe to it, right? Which
definitely.
I love.
Definitely.
I love. It's like, I actually, after playing the Village demo, I went and watched Van Helsing again. Just put me in the mood for it, right? Which is, it's an underrated gem, lads. But it's so good. But like even like the three daughters remind me of like Dracula's brides, and the castle's very like Castle Dracula, and the village itself is very like the village that gets kind of haunted by the creatures there. You've got the werewolves, like I don't know, it's like it's pretty cool. It's like the whole Van Helsing thing, but without the kind of badass demon slayer, more of a horror vibe.
Yeah, it's more like if you were those villagers living in that village,
right?
More so than being Van Helsing.
Yeah.
That's cool though, because I think we've certainly mentioned before about like the whole vampire werewolf thing genre. There isn't really enough of them that like is done well. This is it. This is the thing I've been looking for.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like scary vampires, like really scary vampires.
Yeah,
they're great. And maybe we'll get into that more. But for a second, Eric, you mentioned the timed demos and that you didn't like that they were timed.
No.
Right? I got to get Adam's take on it as well and then give my own. But what did you not like about that?
Well, my issue is with, because I think you, Chris, you mentioned to me that you watched a guy playing it and that it cut in the middle of a cutscene for it, in the middle of a set. And that's sort of my issue. And even though for me, when I was playing Village, it did end. I didn't get to the end. Like Castle, I got to the end in like 16 minutes or something like that. I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I did it. I think I don't get scared as much if there's combat.
Which is weird to me.
Just blast through them all.
Yeah. But like for me, it ended while I was looking at some like shack wall, so it's a bit unimmersive for an ending.
Right.
But at least like with something like the Maiden ending or the ending to the new beginning demo for Resident Evil 7, it's always going to have that kind of cinematic shock factor ending that will grasp you. Yeah. So with a time demo, you might not always have that, and that's kind of my issue with time demos.
That's fair criticism. Adam, what do you make of the time demo?
Well, I missed the Village one, so I'll catch it at the second round. When Eric mentioned to me, he's like, it's annoying that it's timed. I thought he meant it's only out for a day. Like, because it's timed in that manner. You only have, like, 1 day to play it, and then a week later you get the next one. I didn't realize it was 30-minute time limit. And so now I'm, like, when that came up, saying 30 minutes, I'm, like, trying to think about, like, how much of this do I want to experience? You know, do I want to scavenge? You know, do I want to prep in case something comes up? Do I want to buy upgrades? Do I want to read everything that I come across? Do I want to, or do I want to go in and try and engage in as much combat as I can to get a sense of that? So yeah, I think there's a lot in it that I never got to experience because of that 30-minute limit.
Wait, you could buy upgrades in the Castle demo?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's how I finished it really quickly. I didn't know you could do
that. Where is the Duke? Could you meet the Duke?
The person is that his name?
Yeah.
The big fat merchant dude?
Yeah.
You met him?
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's like in the main hallway.
What?
You know, like where the staircase is, the big staircase. Yeah.
What? He's in there?
That's one thing. Like I'm surprised. Like, 'cause that's
how the fuck did I miss him?
Because I kept hearing him.
Right.
In that hallway, I kept hearing this noise going, what the hell is that? Like, and it sounds like something growling.
Yeah.
It was him snoring. He was asleep.
Oh, and he rolls out and wakes up if you go over to him, is it?
Yeah. You go in through this door and there he is sitting there. This big...
I kind of wanted to meet him. What's he like then? You've met him. I don't know.
He's huge. He's massive.
Yeah. Well, everything is huge in this game.
So is this like there's something that makes you grow, like to an enormous height?
What's interesting about that, right? And again, this is like what I'm talking about. That there might be some spoilers, but it's literally just what we're piecing together from what we've seen. Yeah. Could be total bullshit. But there was, there's letters with people's names that you can find, and it says some are accepted and some are rejected.
Yeah.
And I think on the one of the names that came up rejected, I think was a name Ingrid, right? The reason why that one stuck out to me is because when I killed one of the thrall things, right, which are not like the daughters or Lady Dimitrisou, or however you pronounce her name, I picked up a necklace that said Ingrid's necklace.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so are the rejected ones those, and the ones that are accepted, do they have like get supernatural abilities of some kind and get
Yeah.
bigger and the Duke's name was also on another note. I was like, oh, so he's not just like a game mechanic. He's actually a character. You know the way like the merchant had no interaction with.
Yeah. But
Who was it?
apparently there's an Easter egg where the Duke mentions the merchant from
Yeah, I got
4.
it. Yeah.
What? What's he say?
He says,
Fucking hell! What else did you get?
I think because I came across like gems and things, and I sold it to him for money to get upgrades and
Did
buy.
you get to the end of the demo as
ammo.
well?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, Chris, you got further than me because I checked out your stream afterwards just to see what was beyond where I got. No, I didn't get very far into it. But yeah, he said I can't remember what line he says. It's either what are you buying or what are you selling? He says one of those things, and then he says that an old friend of mine used to say that or something like that. That was the.
All right, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Cool.
The twist is the merchant is going to show up at the end of the game.
Blows
With a
some
baddie
saw
all along.
gun. He's going to be, you know the way there's usually in most Resident Evil games at the end, a character throws you some rocket launcher to finish off the final boss. It's going to be the merchant. How amazing would that be? And it'll be the only time he shows up. And unless you played Resident 4, you have no idea who he is. So if you're playing Village only, you're like, what the fuck? On the time demo thing, from a marketing perspective, I think it's genius. I think it's absolutely genius.
Yeah, well, it makes you want to go like
check out
next?
other people's streams,
or not just that, but like shit, I want to know what happens next. All right,
Yeah.
because it's literally like it just cuts you off. You're like, oh, and the fact that it's so close to being out as well.
Yeah. Like I
pre-order
I
now.
From a marketing perspective, I think it's genius. From a player's perspective, yes, it is frustrating because you would like now. I would love to go back into the castle and meet the Duke or whatever, right? And I can't do it. However, knowing that other people out there are streaming different aspects of the castle demo, everyone's gonna be checking out everyone and hashtagging everything, and so that's from the marketing perspective, it's genius.
So here's Adam. Like, did you get Lady D following you around?
No, because I didn't even like. I'll tell you exactly where, as far as I got, right? Which is, you know, when you go down, or if you fight, or you're running away from the lady, you can turn into flies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then you go down into this like cellar area.
Yeah.
And you see Lady D with the wine, and she walks off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you do a puzzle with fire. You open up a cellar place, and you go in there. And as you're in there, a bag falls.
Right.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
That's as far as I got.
Right. Okay. So you didn't actually get to meet the
No,
trolls.
I only got to see them through your stream.
Right.
Okay.
To see
The,
them, and that was fucking cool. That's
They are
really cool.
Awesome.
I actually heard. Like, I tell you what, I got to the bit like, so the bag falls, and to your left there's a crate to break open.
Yeah.
And then I heard one of them, and as I turned to try and hear, or see what I heard, it ended.
They remind me of like they're like this game's. You know the way like okay, the comparisons with Resident Evil 4 are, you know, it's hard not to, right? And it's on purpose. They know what they're doing. But those guys are like this game's equivalent of like the priest guys or the zealots from Resi 4. But I really like their design. I think they look amazing. They're so creepy. Their silhouette is so freaky when it comes out of the dark. I shot myself.
The kind of, I don't know, there's something that kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry a little bit with them as well. They have huge swords, don't they?
Yeah,
axes and swords, and they have all sorts of weapons.
And it's all medieval weapons. It's great. But actually, just when you mentioned that room where you light the lanterns, that mural is fucking incredible looking.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really, really cool.
So cool.
I to be honest, the reason it took me so long is some of the puzzly things. I was like, what do I do?
Right, you're trying to solve stuff that's clearly for later, right?
Yeah, it's clearly for later. But even like when it came to the door that you have to open with the eyeball, I was like, I have the ring, and I'm like, why the hell isn't this working? And then I went around like looking for ages, and I went around for quite a while, so much so that I found a bunch of shit to go. I went back to the Duke maybe two or three times to sell or buy stuff.
Wow.
And then I was like, what the like, this can't be it. Like, it can't be just this. So then when I examined the ring further, then it's like, oh, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake, like I
Classic.
could be way further at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Have I known that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. It's like that extra little bit, which is in 7. So I surprised I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, and it's actually in Resi 2 and 3 as well, where you examine objects and either cut the tape or open something to get a thing you need or that kind of stuff. So,
And that eyeball in that door, it was in the maiden demo as well. So I was able to solve that.
actually.
I was able to solve that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is like
Kind
an
of-
expansion on the maiden demo.
Well,
yeah,
I suppose you're exploring the same scenario, and in a way,
From
I think they
back
know
to
that
front.
some people have either seen or played the maiden demo.
Yeah.
That maybe they thought that people are going to kind of get to a certain section quite quickly.
Yeah.
From memory and stuff. But you also got to explore sections that were locked off in the maiden demo, so I thought that was really cool. And I was so worried walking around that castle. The same with the village. I actually enjoyed the village demo the most of the 3 demos.
From
so
what
far.
I like, because I went back and watched your stream of Village, after I played this, and yeah, I think that's the cooler demo for sure.
Yeah, only because it has, a bit of action. It's got a bit of scares, but it's also got some of the story stuff that's really intriguing.
Yeah.
I am finding the story like really fucking fascinating. I think I'm more interested in this one than I was in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think 7 as a horror game is more compelling as just a scary game. Because I don't know about everyone else, but I think the idea of a Louisiana mansion with a family that are just psychopaths trying to kill you. Obviously, when you meet the mold stuff, it's like, okay, so it's not. But when it's just a family who are trying to kill you that are fucking psychopaths, and you're like, maybe I could run into people like this in the world. That's like scarier on a horror level. Because this one is like, it's horror, but it's very clearly fantasy. Like, it's so clearly a fantasy. And it's kind of more interesting to me, to be honest. I think it's going to have a more compelling story. Even though 7 had a great story, I'm not like bashing 7, but I'm more interested in this one.
I dare you to play it on standard difficulty, because fuck me, those enemies eat bullets.
I know.
They
I'm
eat
not,
them.
no, fuck that. I'm not.
I was playing it on standard. Oh
yeah.
my god, the
With
werewolves.
30 minutes, I'm like, I'm trying to get
Yeah,
through
you kind of
see as
you
much of this
want
as
to see as
possible.
much as you can.
I don't want to fucking waste time with this. And then I don't know why with 30 minutes and it's your only time playing the demo, you'd even bother with the hardcore. Obviously, if you have the game and that's the way you like to play it, great. But surely you want to see as much as you can and experience as much as you can to kind of make a decision as to, is this game for me or not?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'd agree with it. Like, if it was an hour long, then the hardcore would be a little bit more compelling, just because it kind of takes so long before you encounter any form of like the enemy that you can actually kill, like, because you're supposed to run away from the fly lady. Which
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
I didn't realize
after
either.
2
I spent
clips.
too long. I was trying to kill her, and then I
Yeah.
was like, okay, one of the doors is locked, and I
Yeah.
can go into this room, but I didn't notice the planks, and I was
Yeah.
wandering around the room. I was like, there's obviously something in this room that opens that door, and I was looking for that while she was trying to kill me, but there was nothing. I felt like an idiot when I saw the like planks that you just break.
Yeah. So really, it's the troll-looking dudes that's your encounter, and I imagine you'd want to go hardcore there just to if you're into challenge, just to kind of get a sense of, how does that challenge feel, and if you're interested in that in terms of picking up the game. But it takes so long to get there that you mightn't even experience it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So no, I was too nervous to be like, let's make this harder than just playing it is.
Yeah.
But I'm so interested in the game. And one of the things, obviously, at the end of each demo, they show the same trailer, which has also been revealed all over the interwebs. I've been dying to I've talked about it myself, but I'm dying to kind of see what you guys think of it, right? There's one shot in that trailer that has me absolutely baffled more than anything else in the entire trailer. And that's the Umbrella logo.
I where is it? I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the Umbrella logo? All right, okay. So at the start of the trailer, it shows 4 big statues, right?
Right.
In this sort of mountain.
You're serious?
Yeah, I'm. Oh,
No, I'm talking about Adams.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Like-
noticed the Umbrella logo, right? Okay.
I've seen this trailer once, just
okay.
before coming on here.
Okay.
So I didn't really get a chance to like.
Yeah. So it shows the mountains and it zooms in on this kind of stone tablet thing, like an altar
Right.
almost. And there's 4 sigils on it, which seem to be family sigils of some kind. And right in the center of those sigils, and this is all made out of stone, is the Umbrella logo.
I see it here now in an image.
Yeah. And when I
never-
saw that,
never
I
noticed
was
that.
like, what? How does that work? Because obviously the castle is very old architecture and whatnot, and those big statues look like very ancient architecture, and like how old is Umbrella? Or is it that is it going to be like this thing that Umbrella got their logo from this? And there's going to be some like interesting history that Umbrella actually discovered this place long ago, and I don't know.
I don't know, but like you did say in your live stream for the castle demo at the end that you were talking about how you have village and then Vil disappears, but age stays for just
Yeah,
like,
I
extra
noticed
seconds.
that.
Yeah.
That I noticed. I was like, why is age there?
And that's happened every time.
Yeah. So maybe they are getting the Umbrella symbol from this, and maybe maybe like they're this blood or something or whatever it is they're doing here is part of the progenitor virus. This mixed with the flower in Africa made the progenitor virus.
Or you're talking like Resi 5 stuff?
Well, no, talking Resident Evil lore, progenitor
Right,
virus like was always in the. I'm pretty sure it was always in the.
Oh, I
in
thought
the-
that was
in-
sort of I thought that was introduced in Resi 5, but they were talking about it as if it's always been around. I thought that was kind of like a twisty thing, but I'm not
Maybe it
sure.
was.
Like, I don't know at what point that was it in the original Resident Evil game, or like at what point did they mention the progenitor virus?
It's definitely in 5.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. But like, yeah, maybe they're saying that they got the Umbrella symbol from this, or
Yeah, I'm super
Something's going on.
interested, and I'm also like really curious about what they're doing with Chris in this game. Like, what the heck? It's so weird. It's so weird. It's such a weird choice. Unless when you play it, it's not weird at all, and it makes total sense. And they're showing you very, very specific scenes that kind of, well, I don't know how you could kind of, it's like, oh no, he seems bad, but when you see him, kill Ethan's wife, you'll understand, Like he does, doesn't he? He shoots up Ethan's wife in the trailer.
Yeah.
And takes his baby to this
Yeah, looks
fucked
like
up
it, yeah.
place. What the hell? What's going on?
I don't know, but the memes for this game are very, very funny.
Are you speaking in particular about Lady D, is it?
First it was Lady D. After Maiden, it was Lady D.
Right.
After Village with this trailer, it's now
Lady
because
D.
of I don't think anyone wants to try pronounce her second name. So
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up all the time. That's the thing. I haven't heard it really.
it's Ethan's last line to Chris at the end of that trailer.
Yeah.
Has some sort of can be taken up in a particular suggestive way.
Is that what he says? Like, you did my wife, now do me? Or
Yeah.
something like that? Is that what he says? Right.
Yeah, so people are talking about how like Chris is wanting to continue the Redfield bloodline, so Leon's not doing his job, so now he's getting Ethan to be with Claire. I was like, I don't know,
What?
people having some really weird shit going on. But
That's- That sounds
Just looking
bizarre.
at the umbrella logo and the thing,
Yeah.
because maybe you're right. Maybe like it did come. That's where they got it from, or that they're an organization even that is older than Umbrella as a
Right.
pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Because when I'm seeing it there in the, and I don't know how I didn't fucking even cop this, but to me it looks like almost like across from the Crusades kind of a thing,
Yes.
as opposed
Right.
to the Umbrella logo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not as obvious as an Umbrella logo.
And when you
So-
think about that mural as well,
Yeah, like it looks almost like the Maltese cross in the middle of the thing.
almost, especially the way they've shaded the redder, what would have been the redder
What
parts
would
of
it be? The red one, yeah.
Yeah,
That it almost looks like a negative space, and you're just left with a cross in the
But, like,
middle.
Yeah.
do you think that's just like just a little like maybe it means nothing and it's just like that's just kind of an Easter egg there, or like I thought they very
I can't see them putting it in for no reason.
no, it looked like it was very specifically let's show you this and have you fucking baffled, like I'm really fucking curious about that, but maybe I'm getting caught up on like the wrong thing. Maybe everyone else is like, guys, like
How are you not questioning the giant whale in the lake?
we see that I like it's just standard of a Resi game now, isn't it? It's just giant monsters and stuff.
Yeah. I'm loving the types of werewolves. So there's like these humanoid ones, and then like there's the big
Yeah.
typical werewolf, and then there's like this weird bloodborne looking werewolf that like
Yeah, I've
they're
seen
trying
that.
to claw its way through. So I'm loving that there's loads of different types. Then the thralls are like these vampire-like creatures. Then I think
Did you see the footage of the werewolves on horses?
I did
No.
not see that, but I've seen.
It reminds
sounds
me of like Planet of the Apes. They run in on the horses and they've got like weapons in their arms and shit. Oh, it looks so fucking cool.
I've
It
seen
looks
a,
so cool.
a video revealing a guy talking about breaking down the 4 bosses.
Yeah, the main
So
bosses.
I've seen the two new ones,
Right.
and I think they were talking briefly about Heisenberg's sort of robot Frankenstein looking things as well. So it looks like
Didn't know about these.
there's going to be like a lot of it was only in like the Mercenaries demo,
Right.
so it's maybe they're in the game or maybe they're only in Mercenaries. But if they are the main game, it means nearly everywhere is going to have its own unique set of enemies, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like some of the enemies are area by area. Like the vampire things are the castle, the werewolves are the village, like who knows what's going to show up for the other 2 houses. I've also seen that clip of the 4 bosses. I don't know if you have, Adam.
No.
One of them looks weird, and one of them looks fucking terrifying.
One of them's going to be terrifying.
One of them is gonna be so fucking scary, I think.
Gotta be, yeah.
And then of course there's Mother Miranda, who you get a quick glimpse of in the village demo. That bit was so cool. You like just open the door and just see her like rip someone in pieces, and then she like disappears. All this like lore that they're building around this Mother Miranda character is already making her one of the more interesting Resident Evil villains that I've, like Wesker's cool, Sadler is cool, but sometimes it kind of feels like there is no villain in a Resident Evil game until the last minute. Like it can be kind of a twisty thing that, like for example in 7, you're not really aware of an Evie character until near the end. It's more of like a twist. She's like an explanation as to all the shit you've seen.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's very clear that they're going to be building up this Mother Miranda character the whole way through as a villain that you're like, fuck, sometime I'm going to have to fight her. Right? Like, she'll be built up. I'm really curious about her. And there's so much religious kind of iconography, and
it is like so close to 4, isn't it?
it really is. In a way that's like, like the way to get into Resi 4 if you were previously worried about horror games was like, oh, it's got elements of Metal Gear Solid in it, so that's my way in, right? And this one then it's like, oh, I'm kind of scared of these first-person horror games. It's got elements of Resi 4 in it. Okay, that's my way in now. Do you have any criticism?
I wonder what the biohazardy style of stuff is going to be in it, because there was a lot of vials, wasn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
So they were experimenting on people, but then again, it does seem to be carried through a bite or a scratch as well. So,
well, that's very much like the zombies and stuff. Sure, they use scratch and bite, and you get infected that way.
So,
yeah, I actually really like that in the village. It's like it's very like 4, but they've also put you at a different time period. When you get to the village in 4, this is like a remote place that has long been infected, right? There's no like the only people who are normal are all outsiders. Louis Serra is a cop who went to investigate. He doesn't live there.
Yeah.
Ashley Graham is a hostage. Jack Krauser is a spy, Ada is a spy, and you're a spy, right? So everyone has been infected for a long time. And it even seems that, like, they bring up, like, how old is this Salvador guy? So, like, their life has been prolonged. What I really like about this is that in the village, it's during the, like, turning, and people are, like, hiding from the things, and they're, like, trying to survive. They're, like, the last people left in the village. I actually thought that was really cool. Like, a really cool choice.
I've kind of always really wanted that in sort of, like, these sort of infection style things, is having that, because they always said it. They'll always set it afterwards. Like, even if you look at Dead Space, it's always you get to the ship afterwards.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You get to in Resi 4, you get there afterwards. Resident Evil 3 and 2, it is set during, sort of, but it's long enough into the infection that it's, kind of almost afterwards.
I'd say though about these people, like, that live there, that they're kind of they're normal people trying to survive. Wherever they live, there's no IKEA nearby.
No, this is true.
No, their decor is questionable.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a remote community and a very sheltered community. And I don't mean that in terms of their infrastructure. I mean that in terms of, like, their mindsets. And, like, they have a religion that's not known to the rest of the world, obviously. Like, they have prayers to this Mother Miranda figure. So, they're obviously kind of cut off from the world,
like,
which is always an interesting setting for a horror, because it's like, if you're stuck there, you're fucked too. Like, there's no authorities to go to.
Yeah. I would kind of like, with Resident Evil, it'd be interesting someday to see them try tackle a place that looks nice, but you just, is in the horror setting.
Right.
Now, obviously, the castle aesthetically matches the horror within. It looks really, really good. But with the village, it's a bit like, you people live here, like,
right.
It's like your decorations are like, what? You're almost as crazy as the people we run away from.
Yeah, so you guys are scary with or without werewolves.
Yeah.
Or lichens. I love that they're calling them lichens as well.
That's cool. I'd love to know where. Like, I know lycanthrope, the whole phrase, like, that's it. But, like, when did it become shortened down to lichens? Who was the first to do that?
Whoever did it was a genius.
Because the first place I've ever heard of it was from Underworld.
Underworld, yeah.
That's right.
I've never heard it being mentioned before that, like, being shortened down to that before. But after that, it's been used quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, I like it. I think it sounds cool. Not shortening vampires isn't as cool. Vamps, not as cool.
Nope.
Cool. I'm pretty sure that has a different meaning.
Bloodsuckers.
Bloodsuckers. Yeah, or Vamp from MGS2. Hey, he was cool. He was cool. I mean, I suppose in that sense, if it's got to be a name of a character, it's probably not cool to go, I'm vampire. So, sure. I am US agent. Have you any criticisms of the stuff you've seen so far? Adam, you're nodding your head like crazy.
I do.
Do you actually have loads of criticisms?
I have a criticism.
It's
just a major criticism for me.
It's major.
Major. I hope they fix it.
Major criticism. Okay, go for it.
When you click on something to read it, and it just disappears before you get the chance to read the thing. So you have to click on it again to try read the whole thing again.
Yeah, that it doesn't stay as long as you want it for.
Yeah, normally you have to, in the previous games, you would have to press X again to go past it, continue it, or to finish reading it. But with pictures on the wall and stuff like that, when you go over to read it, it just kind of pops up, but you don't get to read the whole thing. So then you have to press it again, and that always, like,
slows down the process. Like,
even like, okay, how far did I get even when I press it the second time, so I know where to continue from? I'm not able to catch up mid-sentence. I need to fucking read it. I need to read the whole thing. Just leave it on the screen and I'll continue. That's really strange that they've done that, because they never did that in previous games.
That is strange, actually. And I noticed it in that I have actually done that where it's like I clicked on it twice or whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't annoy me as much, but I think it's because I was like, I'm against the clock and I don't have time for this shit anyway, right?
Hopefully
But
that's the reason.
in the actual game, yeah, that would annoy me, actually.
Yeah, because you want to read everything.
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, it's such a every little piece of or note is like a clue as to what's going on, or helps you build up more mythology. No, definitely. Otherwise, you wouldn't go picking up the notes if you don't care.
No.
Is that the only criticism you have so far of everything you've seen?
So that's not bad.
Well, actually, the Ori engine is a little questionable for me. Just like at this point, like some of the game looks absolutely unbelievable, like stunning, and it's like wow.
Those chairs in the castle.
Yeah, well, just like that first room you start in, it's just like the fire and stuff like that. I think HDR really helps if you can play on a HDR screen. I think it really, really helps with the darks and the lights and stuff like
Big
that.
time.
But like when I was watching your stream of Village, some of the stuff was like really weird looking, especially the
grass.
The
the grass looked awful.
It almost looked like when you're playing like a VR game and they can't render the thing properly, so it's like just like a flat image.
Yeah.
I thought that was really weird for a game.
That's
like
next
this.
gen.
Yeah.
So to speak, right? Yeah, I and that's right. In some cases, I think that the stream doesn't look as good as when you're actually playing it.
Yeah.
But even at that, as I was playing, so I'm not making any kind of excuses. As I was playing it, I was like, this doesn't look like fantastic.
Yeah.
In all areas, I'm not mind blown here or anything. In some places, yeah, great. But yeah, no, I did feel exactly the same way. And even like inside some of the rooms as I was looking around, I was like, this is a bit gritty looking or a bit hazy almost.
Because I felt that with Resident Evil 7. I remember when Ori 7 first launched, I was like, I'm not mad on this Ori engine. I think once you're inside in the house, everything looks fantastic, almost photorealistic.
Yeah.
But you start outside in a forest.
Yeah.
And everything looks like shit.
Yeah, no. I every time I've started Ori 7 loads of times. I've just never finished it. And every time I've started, the outside exterior like looks horrible.
Yeah.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
That and people's faces. No, not people's faces. It's just Maya or Mia. Is it Mia? Is it Mia or Maya?
I think
the mother is kind of Mia is a bit
Margaret.
weird, but the mother is
Margaret
worse.
has the worst looking face in the game.
Yeah, but I can kind of live with her a bit because she's just a fucking freak anyway. Like, she's just like this insect weird thing that, like, if her face is doing weird shit, I just put it down to, yeah, she's a fucked up monster or whatever.
Yeah.
I know, but like Mia in that video recording, which is before she's met the family or anything like that, oh my god, like, I can't stand her face in that. And her hair it's so strange. It's so weird. She looks great in the bit when she's like crawling up the stairs towards you and she's all fucked up. That looks great, but it's before she's like messed up. It's so weird, and it's like lots of teeth. It's like Until Dawn, but even worse. It's.
Did you think that Resident Evil 2 looks better
than 7?
Than even 8? Demo so far.
Yeah, so far, yeah. Like I think there's bits of 8 that I've seen so far that are incredible. Again, it's some of that detail in the castle.
Yeah, I think they can do interiors really well. Like reflections.
Yeah.
Reflections, light and dark. They seem to, once you have that, because if you actually focus on any of the textures, they're a bit Final Fantasy 7 Remake in terms of the textures.
Yeah, right.
Whereas if you kind of just step back and look at the full frame and like that hallway looking up that big staircase looks
beautiful.
Unbelievable. Like really, really great. But once you go up close to something, which is unusual because it's kind of an inspector game a little bit. Like you are kind of walking around trying to investigate things, so you are paying attention to stuff.
Yeah.
So, but outdoors they seem to struggle a little bit. And I think Resi 2 is mostly indoors, right?
Oh, yeah. And actually, when you go outdoors, you're outdoors for a very small section, but it's nighttime, and you know there's no nature. It's a city street, so it's just cars, dustbins, and you know it's nighttime. So really, they just have to focus on how good is the street lights, and it looks good, like it looks great, and fires and sparks and shit. But it's almost like an interior outdoors. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, I get you. Yeah, because it's urban. It's that urban
Exactly, and they're very good at that. They pull that
Yeah.
off really, really well. I think where the Ori engine is suffering a bit is
Organic.
organic stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
nature. Now, I have a feeling the actual game, just from some of the trailers stuff, I have a feeling the actual game looks better than the demos. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Well, it would
just
be,
talking through my
wouldn't
hat.
it? Because like with the trailer, they get to like cherry pick what they want. You know, like they get to
Yeah.
pick
Well, there's that
the
too.
absolute best moments to show off in a trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed my time with that castle demo. As little of it as I got to experience.
Well, you
I-
got not. In fairness, you did get pretty close, relatively close to the end.
I did.
Apparently, I was very close to the end.
Chris was very close to the end.
There was only a tiny bit left. I'm kind of raging. It's just because I like to get the kind of sense of finality.
All right.
But what happens at the end, Eric?
It's at the end. The bug lady comes back. I love that when it comes to Resident Evil, no one ever learns anyone's names. They always give them
They
nicknames.
do. They give you the three names though of the
Oh,
daughters.
I did do, yeah, but I can't
Yeah.
remember which one she is.
You're right.
But yeah, bug lady comes along and she starts attacking you again. So I was running around for ages in this area. Like, again, it was almost like when you first meet her upstairs in the castle. So like I was trying to figure out what to do. I was shooting at her loads of times, and then I was kind of looking, going, kind of found this little doorway area, so I went through there, and I was like, oh fuck, here I am, still trapped. And then I kind of thought, oh, plank wall, break that. So I broke that, and just as I was trying to squeeze through, she grabbed me, pushed me through it, and then kind of climbed on top of me, and then it ends. Just as it was getting good.
So, Lady Dimitrescu, whatever her name is, she's not in that.
What?
She's not in that demo.
I've seen people have her following them,
Yeah,
and
I've
them having
seen
like
clips of that.
shotguns and shit like that. But I never experienced it.
Oh, you
No,
didn't have
yeah.
you didn't get the shotgun.
I didn't get shotgun. No, I didn't.
You got the shotgun?
Yeah, got a shotgun.
You buy it up to
Jesus
do.
Christ.
Yeah, you buy it off your man. I bought the
I see.
shotgun. I managed to fully upgrade my handgun clip capacity as well
Jesus.
as the firepower.
Man, you were so ready for the action, you never
I
got.
was so ready for the action, I never got to use it.
Yeah, fucking hell.
What was
The,
great though is that when I get the game, I know where all the things are.
Unless
I
they
know
move,
where to
unless they
find
move that shit.
unless they move
right.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
always
it's great
place for
that
the
when
demo.
I get to the actual game, I won't be restricted to time. It's not like as if you only have 30 minutes to play the whole game.
Yeah. No, of course not. Eric, have you got any criticisms so far that haven't been mentioned?
Well, no, I think so far the main one is that, like, on the actual game itself, not counting the demos, the main one was the grass. I remember seeing that grass going, what the fucking shit? And it almost made the whole, because the grass was so dense and it was kind of everywhere, it almost made the whole area look shit.
It's
So
weird
it's a
because
bit
it's like it's almost you have to go through it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you do, yeah.
And it's part of like they're kind of hiding in the grass a little bit too. So it's so odd that it's weird looking.
I did think the village looked so, and I think maybe it's down to the color scheme. It was so drabby looking that I was like, I'm not actually that impressed. by
Right,
everything.
and with a game that's called Village, more so than it's called Castle or whatever,
Yeah.
the village itself needs. And it's like, I do wonder, is it only called Village so that they could get that little 8 Roman numeral in there?
Definitely.
Or is
100%.
do they feel like the village itself is like a primary character of the game? Because I don't know if you're going to spend all that long there.
I know, because
but
it looked like by the end of that demo, you're straight up towards the castle, right?
Yeah, but and then maybe a backtrack. You could, that's not unlike a Resident Evil game either. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you could be in the castle for a little bit, and then you're back out into the village. You're exploring more of the village, and then there's probably like a mine area, and then it's like back to the village, and then it's like into the castle again. And
yeah, and then there's like some little island offshore somewhere where there's a
With
bunch
soldiers.
of military dudes, and you're like, what just happened? Where am I now?
And then you
and
go off to
like you have
space.
no companions left. There's like no one to help you, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden a helicopter comes in, and he's like, you look up, and he says, "Stranger, I'm here to help."
Oh
And it's
yeah,
the merchant. It's the merchant there
fuck
to help
yeah,
you.
yeah. Do it. Well, right. So apart from the kind of some of the graphical issues that I think are there, and they are quite obvious, unfortunately. I have a couple of small criticisms from everything I've seen so far, but mostly I'm hugely impressed, like really impressed. And I do want to play the game. I don't like Ethan's voice actor. I didn't in 7, and I don't here.
He's better here, doesn't he?
It is a bit better. There's a bit more, there was a bit of cussing and a bit of actual expression I felt in the village portion.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know, right? I don't need as much cheese or charisma as Leon from 4, right? I don't need that because this is a little bit more kind of grounded. It's less of an action movie and more of a save my daughter story. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there like Ethan could be anyone, and maybe that's the point. Maybe it's so that you can put yourself in there a little bit more, and that's the whole idea of the first person perspective. But I don't know. He's just there's no charisma to the character at all. Like I don't care about anything he has to say. It's like he might as well be Isaac Clarke from Dead Space and just be a silent protagonist. Like they might as well nearly go that far. Now maybe there's a lot more to see, and maybe he'll have shining moments, and I'll be so wrong, and I'll come back on this and go, holy fuck, the guy did an amazing job. But I never got it from 7. And
I wonder if we'll get a chance to see Ethan this time.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And see what he actually looks like. Maybe look into a mirror or something and actually get a sense of. And then what they do is it's fucked up and it superimposes your face and you don't know how they did it. And, and that's the scariest part of the game because you're like, how did they know what I look like? And how did they do it on my individual game?
It was us. It was us all along.
It was us all along. The other thing is, I personally would love, and I think I did say this before, but I would love if the Duke or the merchant character, if it was just a game mechanic, it's not a story thing, and it is just the merchant from Resi 4. And there could be like little funny Easter eggs or whatever, but it's the merchant from Resi 4, and it doesn't matter why he's there, but it's just a
he knows him somehow.
Yeah, you see, I don't know. I'm like, well, could I not just have him then? Because it's just I think it would feel so nice to see that blue flame and hear him say, "Welcome, stranger."
Well, I think there's that kind of it kind of indicates to me. So is he the Duke of the town or something? Is that how it's working?
His title is the Duke. I don't know why his relationship isn't anyone.
But I wonder then, is there a connection between village and that castle with Sadler and stuff like that?
See, maybe there is
that family or whatever. Perhaps these are part of a colony or some shit like that, where there was some form of connection, or perhaps there was a power struggle between the two.
Maybe that's what the mural meant. Maybe there was two castles once at conflict, a Spanish, army of some kind, and wherever this is based, maybe
it seems to be Romania of some sort, doesn't it? Like
it looks like it's kind of Eastern European.
So that would be another issue for me. That if it is set in Romania, give all the people Romanian accents.
Right.
You do with all the others. Why all of a sudden do they all have it was off-putting for me as well in Village. It's like, I can't take you guys seriously. Why do you all have American accents here?
Well, I would say that the acting in general is not great in it.
No, but at least give them the accents.
I think because when I was watching your stream, Chris, with Village, you seemed really engaged with what was happening, especially within the house.
Yeah.
When the guy changes and he's like killing everyone, the place is going on fire.
Yeah.
But when we're watching on stream, we can't really hear the audio that much.
Right.
I can hear the talking, but the music you can't hear. So I feel like the music is making that way more dramatic than it actually was.
I actually found as I was playing it, like nearly taking a note of like the music is great.
Music is good, yeah. So and I felt that with the castle one anyway, is that the music and atmosphere and the sound design in it is really, really good. But
really
the
strong.
overall voice acting and even character performance, I doubt they're doing motion capture here. I'd say it's all hand animated.
Yeah.
Not the greatest.
Lady D is definitely someone's strutting around in heels in a green suit.
Huge platforms.
Yeah.
But actually, speaking of voice acting, I nearly totally fucking forgot. But and I did find I think I pointed out to you, Eric, that like the daughters seem to have accents, and they sound really
actually,
good, right?
the fly lady sounded great.
But one of them, and I don't know which daughter she plays, passed away last year, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I was reminded of that. I was like, oh man, it really sucks because people are kind of going to experience this now, and I imagine they're like, I feel like the daughters and Lady D are going to get kind of, um,
Oh, the biggest fandom, like.
well, they're going to be received very well, and it's just kind of a shame that she doesn't get to like experience kind of the outpouring.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying it now, and get, like just because I have little criticisms doesn't mean I'm like saying, oh, the game looks like a shit. I think this is.
I think this looks better than 7.
I do as well. I think it's going to do really well.
Wait to play it and tell you how it goes because you won't play it.
I will play it, but
I might actually play this one. This one doesn't. This to me isn't as scary as 7. I don't think.
Really? What? Actually, no. I agree with you. I don't think it's as scary as 7.
Okay, it's more intense. Those things have got.
Well, just when I went to the Duke and I was like I bought a shotgun off him and then I bought more ammo and I bought the handgun upgrades. I was like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna have the potential to hold myself off in this one. Whereas in 7, it was pretty much a hide and seek game.
Yeah.
You know, like I know there's a bit of combat in it, but you really don't get full on combat until towards the end.
Yeah. I do think this is going to be a little bit more combat heavy than the first game, and not to a point where it's like
the first game.
What the critics, 7, I mean, but like not to a point where, you know, people's criticisms of Resi 5 and 6 is that they were like just action games or whatever.
Yeah. This feels like 4. Like. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's straight up. This
it's
is
like
4.
blend of the two, where it's like it's atmospheric and scary, but you're also gonna like pop some bitches with a shotgun, you know. I mean that as any enemy, by the way, not necessarily. not necessarily particular characters.
It's not how it came across, Chris.
Yeah, fuck. Jesus.
You understand now.
You're a horrible person, Chris. You're a horrible person.
Like I feel like the Lady Dimitrescu one.
I think you nailed it.
Is that it? Is that how you say it?
I think you're right. I don't know. I have never heard anyone like officially say what it is though. So.
Right. I feel like that part of the game to me is going to be scary because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, is what's going to fuck me up.
Because I felt like with the fly lady, I'd love to get her name, whatever fly lady is, but that little encounter I thought was cool. I didn't think it was scary. I just thought that was cool. She has a great design. Her voice performance was really, really good. And I'm just like trying to figure a way to escape here.
Yeah.
You kind of know after playing 7, it's like, all right, I know I can't kill you, so let's run.
I did, and I made a fucking idiot of myself trying.
Well, I did empty a couple of clips into her, but I thought it was like to try and slow her down because with Jack, you see, if you shoot him enough times, he falls down and he's like knocked out for a little bit, so it gives you time to
run away,
gather your things, or run away.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that's my go-to. I don't
gather
my
hide.
shit.
You can hide. You know, you can actually
big time, and then never leave, and then go. That's enough for tonight. And
here's the thing though, Chris. Right, with 7, right, just to give you a little bit of so you could play it. The safe room, they can't enter it.
I know.
So every time you feel a bit like, oh, just run into the safe room. You're fine.
Yeah, but that's my problem, right? I get into a safe room and then I have crippling fear and I won't leave it.
You just peek a little bit and see where he's at. It's like, oh no, he's in the hallway. Okay.
It's the same with Resident Evil 2 and 3. The Mr. X and Nemesis. Mr. X and Nemesis, they don't walk into the safe room. Even though I was told Nemesis comes into safe rooms.
Yeah, they said that. Well, I don't know who said it, but I remember it being reported that Nemesis would come into safe rooms. But I don't know if someone was just trying to kind of ramp up the anticipation of Nemesis, maybe.
Yeah, he does not.
Yeah, he doesn't actually do it, does he?
No.
Of all the actually, Eric, because you've played more of them than we have, and you've experienced them more. Of the stalkery characters so far, which is a running trend now in Resident Evil. Yeah. Which one has been the scariest for you?
Well, I haven't experienced Lady D yet, so I can't really talk about her. But Mr. X.
Yeah?
Mr. X has been scariest because it's the first time you're stuck in such a large area being stalked. Like for Jack, like he was scary at the time, but you kind of get used to him, and eventually he doesn't really follow you. Like, not as much.
You get used to him.
You kind of do. Like you can kind of learn. Like
I used to everyone else but him. He's the one guy. Like I've been trying to. Well, I didn't really try. I gave it one go and thought, actually, my heart rate can't take this on Madhouse difficulty.
Right.
And
I hear
because Jack is the beginning, so it's like, here. Like, just let me pass this guy, and I'm going to be able to complete this game.
Yeah. But like with Mr. X, when he comes into it, you have no idea where he is. But you can still hear his feet. Pretty much everywhere.
His feet everywhere.
But you have no idea where he is.
There you go, Chris.
That's why Adam's going to play
We've
Resident
got
2.
full confirmation as to why I will never play that game.
I don't. You'll be fine. Honestly, right?
You just asked him which is the scariest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this in my opinion, not about the Stalker characters because I'm too afraid of Jack Baker. But I think 7 is still the scariest that I've played or experienced. And then I think this one could be the next scariest.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Like, for me, it's the first person shit. It's bringing it, like, you don't have, obviously, the over shoulder view, it doesn't really show you what's behind you anyway, but I just feel like you do have more of a grasp of what's going on around you. The first person thing, oh man, I'm like always trying to turn around and see what's behind me, or I'm terrified of something popping out at me, and you're right up in it, you know what I mean? Which is great, like, it's really good, but it does freak me out more.
Has there been any talks of this getting a VR treatment, or?
There hasn't yet that I've noticed. I've kind of kept up with the
waiting for
stuff.
PSVR 2 or something like that.
I think so. I would be very surprised if this doesn't end up VR, right?
Now I will not play that or 7 or any horror game on VR because fuck that shit.
Resi 4 in VR would be good though, wouldn't it?
Be interested in it.
Because you're used to it.
I don't know if
you know
I'll
what I mean.
handle it.
You're used to it, but it's a different experience.
Oh man, when they announced Resi 4, and when they said world premiere, for some reason I knew it was going to be Resident Evil 4, and then I was like, are they announcing the remake right now? Is that what they're doing? Now, in a way, I should have realized no, they're not, because you're not going to announce Resident Evil 4 remake just before launching Village.
Yeah, no.
You need to let Village have its moment to shine, and then announce that when there's, nothing on the horizon.
Yeah.
So that everyone's hyped about it, right? Like, that would be such a dick move to do. That'd be like someone getting engaged at someone's wedding. It's like, the wedding is the event, but like, it's like, oh my god, congratulations! Like, fuck off, right? Fuck off right now. So that's exactly what it'd be like, though, wouldn't it? If they announced a Resi 4 remake during a Village demonstration or something.
I mean, at least the benefit there is that they would own both products. Like getting engaged, it's like, well, this is my wedding, and I'm not you being engaged right now.
Yeah. You're stealing my time. Yeah, at least ask me to marry you. Yeah.
Well, not really, because you're still you're likely two different teams within Capcom, so you might be a bit kind of fucking.
Oh yeah.
But
It's
just
but at least Capcom will be getting all the money.
Yeah, the overall Resident Evil IP, I suppose. But still, the Resi 4 VR thing was cool, and to me, it just confirmed that there's going to be a remake.
Yeah,
that's really what they're looking at this game.
The full on what they're doing with
does that
it,
mean
like
the full on remake will be first person then?
No,
they've now they've developed a first person version.
Yeah, but no.
No, that's interesting. No. I wonder if they toyed between the two, and their answer to it was, why don't we do a VR version of the original, and that's your first person version of the game, and do a faithful remake. Well, I don't mean faithful that it's everything, but I mean faithful in the similar way to Ori 2 or Ori 3 was.
Yeah. I just like the whole, like, you could just reach down at your belt and pick up your gun and like.
Or just, I've even seen people like throwing the knife in the air and catching it or whatever.
Yeah.
Just being like, I'm badass Leon. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. Could you imagine what the Krauser fight is like?
Holy shit! I didn't even think of that.
Because there wouldn't be quick time events, would there? You'd probably have to literally deflect it. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's way more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
I didn't realize we invited Uncle Roger here.
Oh my god. No, but like, and then imagine running away from fucking Dr. Salvador's statue. Not Dr. Salvador, what's his name? Not Salvador.
Salazar?
Salazar, that's who I mean.
Yeah. The big statue of him.
Nutcracker, the fucking chase.
The big Nutcracker.
which if they do the faithful remake, that's not making it into the remake.
Of course it is. Definitely. No. Everything's getting in there.
No, because
tell you what, like
Ori 2 remake.
if they did a Ori 2 style remake of Resi 4, what do you think would be the scariest moment
Oh, the
to
chainsaw.
to relive?
Hearing first time you leave that house and you first
Salvador?
hear that chainsaw, yeah.
You know what I think would be scarier?
Hmm?
When they turn the chainsaw guy into the stalker.
I hope they don't.
Oh,
I
man, yeah,
hope
they
for
probably
Resi
would
4
actually do that, yeah.
I
don't-
feel like at the moment they would. I know, like for me, actually, the stalker thing is getting a little bit old and belongs in certain games and doesn't have
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
But like you have to look at the fact of the matter is, right? Horror games are great for streaming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Streaming is great for marketing,
Yeah.
and people like to
And
stream
marketing
things.
is great for making money.
And
money
is great for making ends meet. But like the whole stalker character thing is perfect for streaming material.
Yes, because you have
Sure.
the shock factor fear
The
thing.
moment when they come into it, and then watching people freak out trying to stay away from this thing.
Yeah.
So I in a Resi 4 remake, I wouldn't be surprised if, because the chainsaw guy did show up multiple times.
Yeah.
So in a modern remake of it, it wouldn't be like they're like, oh, we're totally changing it now because he's around the village more. It would just be that, hey, instead of him getting knocked down all the time and then reappearing somewhere else, we're having that he's roaming the village and he's trying to hunt you, and you can hear his chainsaw fucking revving, and it gets louder the closer it gets to
The
you.
only thing is,
then
there's like
you'll-
multiple versions. Like, there's multiple enemies throughout Resi 4 that could,
Have
be
chainsaws or be, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that
because
could be.
there's the 2 sisters as well.
Yeah, but I think what they would do there is that they would do in the village, you have Salvador. In the castle, you have the alien things. And
I don't
Well,
need
they-
for sections.
they-
It's not
they
the
only-
whole time. Just
They
for
only
sections.
appear at a certain bit, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
but like
I think that
Salvador
would
only
be the
appears-
scariest bit of the game.
Those guys? Or the guy when he's when
you
you're
f-
trying to go down the hall and the tail could come out and catch you and shit.
when you fall down into the sewers and then one of those
Is hunting you, essentially.
yeah, he's hunting you. Yeah.
Oh, the regenerators. The regenerators are gonna be the scariest fucking. Those fucking.
Well, yes, but
You hear their breathing and the little eerie
Yeah.
music, and they're.
would that be the stalker
That would
of
be
the island?
terrifying. That
Huh?
would be fucking terrifying.
That'd be the stalker of the fucking military
Oh,
place,
fuck that.
and the
Fuck that
twins
so
would
much.
be the stalkers of the mines.
I'm
Oh,
not.
and the El Gigante is going to be the stalker of the.
I can hear his footsteps. Yeah,
The
and then
whale
people
is
will,
gonna
you know
be
the
the
way people like mod Mr. X? They'll just be modding El Gigante to like have a big hat on him and shit. And
They have a cave troll.
but I'd love to see the merchant again in the remake as well when it eventually happens. But on Jesus, we haven't strayed that far from it. It's a good year for Resident Evil, isn't it? I guess the 25th anniversary. They've got a lot of shit happening.
Yeah.
Two of the other things that are coming up, I don't know if they're going to excite us as much as the actual main story. I'd imagine for us the main story is more exciting, but they're worth talking about. Is the Mercenaries mode
Mm-hmm.
and Reverse, which I thought was a separate game. It is. You know that online deathmatch thing where you play as multiple characters from Resident Evil franchise? It's supposed to be just a celebration of the 25 years of Resident Evil. It's not a story. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's just like a deathmatch, but that's free for anyone who buys Village.
Cool.
Oh.
In which case, I'm like, hey, if it's there, why not give it a go and have a
right.
deathmatch and play as Jack Baker killing people in the RPD or whatever.
Yeah, it's you play as characters from it, and then when you get a certain amount of points, you can summon one of those stalker chaps or something.
I think so. Yeah, it's like you can build up points to then summon in. I think it plays very much like
Is it a battle royale essentially?
kinda, and it plays very much like the Uncharted multiplayer kind of thing. Like it's like
Oh, right, yeah, I get you.
like a
Get
game
enough-
mode.
Yeah.
And you can then unleash Mr. X or something, or Nemesis, or there was a beta for it. I don't think it did well. It wasn't kind of ready.
I think they're releasing another one,
Right.
another beta.
Yeah.
So what's the
some
difference
point.
between that and Mercenaries then?
I think Mercenaries is a single player where you play as Ethan, and it's like that sort of
Timed.
the timed
To-
thing.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
time
yeah.
challenges, very much like the Resi 4 one, but it's in the first person mode of the actual game.
I never
Whereas
liked
this other-
Mercenaries.
Yeah, I was never into it, but I do think that it's something. It's extra content, One of the complaints I think of Resident Evil 3, like 2 was short anyway as a game, but it was just really replayable and really fun. 3, people were like really mad how short it was, and also it had like just an awful multiplayer that they didn't want, which seems to have turned into kind of what Reverse is, right? Which is its own thing. But the Mercenaries mode, I think, was a mode that people did enjoy from 4 and 5. I don't know if it was in 6.
It was in 6 as well.
It was in 6 as well. Even if we didn't enjoy it, it's something that people did enjoy. So I think bringing it back was something that did excite people who are looking for more content that they could jump into. It's kind of arcadey.
Oh yeah,
it always just seems strange to me that like not so much in 5. I played Mercenaries in 5, and I think it suited 5 just because it was more of a shooter game than it was a horror game.
Yeah, and the co-op.
So it worked. Yeah, it worked well. Wasn't mad on it in 4, but I think for the likes of like 7 and 8, like 7, I think expansions they did a really good job, which is adding more story beats. And there was a kind of Mercenaries mode in 7.
So is that the Ethan must die thing or the Jack's birthday?
No, like the one where you get to play as Chris. It was the
not a hero.
Not the free one. Yeah. Because that was way more action packed.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff with 7 was like story based, extra content, and I think for a game like this, like I don't quite get why you would have Mercenaries. Why not just work on doing these extra story packages?
But I feel like they will as well.
Yeah, probably.
I think they will. It's just
and
kind
also,
of and also exactly. I think it's just an extra little game mode that comes with the game, but that there will be. Well, yeah. I hope the expansions aren't like extra mercenary maps. Like I hope it is. Story stuff. I have a feeling that they will do something where you play as Chris.
Yeah.
Either as an expansion or there'll be like a section in the game where it transfers over to Chris and maybe it gives you more context.
I'm really, really intrigued by his
what
involvement.
The hell? Yeah, is he a villain? Like he's the cover of the game too.
Well, and half of his face is a werewolf. So is he controlled? Is he infected? Is he infected and he's wanting to find a cure to your baby?
I just find that through all the possibly. I just find that through all of the marketing and the stuff that they've shown and the way they're deliberate with their fonts and all this kind of stuff and what they decide to show you, I think they're being really, really clever about making you talk about stuff. Even when they revealed that logo of the fetus with the black wings, and in the beginning they said we hesitated about showing this because it reveals a huge amount about the plot. And in saying that, I think they were geniuses again, because it had everyone going, I need to pick this image apart to see what it all means, right?
And it means nothing. It all ends in a church.
It probably does. It probably does all end in a church. So I'm really curious as to what exactly they've cooked up. I think it's going to be a really good story by the time you get to the end of it.
I should probably pre-order
it. Oh yeah. I'm by the time this has come out, I'd say I will have pre-ordered it. By the time this actual episode comes out and people are listening to it. Adam, are you planning on actually getting it?
Eventually. It's just I wouldn't really have the time yet. I might hang on a bit till everything is cleared. I have free time and all that.
Yeah. But it is
definitely. I'm so intrigued by it.
Radar.
Yeah, I'm absolutely intrigued by it.
Yeah. It's just too interesting, isn't it?
Looks fantastic.
more so than 7. Like 7 to me, what was interesting about jumping into 7 is getting that feeling of the first Resident Evil again. It's like there hasn't been that experience for a while, and because we've wanted PT and PT was gone and we couldn't get it, and this was like going to be kind of the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
So that was the draw, and then it just turned out, actually this is actually a really good game, and it has a good story. I wasn't expecting this. Whereas this, I'm like, I want to know what the hell's going on. Like, I'm really, really intrigued by this story, and that hasn't happened to me about a Resident Evil game in a long time.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's so I just think it's so fucking interesting. I think it's going to connect to like the overall Resident Evil like mythology, just because of that like, fucking umbrella logo, but also, feel really new and really fresh, and also like campy and fantastical with all the crazy bosses and weird like shit, but also dark and scary. Like it looks like a really good balance of the things that people might have expected at this point from Resident Evil. You know, like this isn't PT kind of scary.
Yeah.
But it's still undeniably horror. It's not Resi 6 action either. It's not that.
No.
So I think they've balanced a lot of things really, really, really well. Can't wait to like stick it on my shelf and fucking not play it.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna be long?
It seems like it will be actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That castle looked like it had quite a lot to it. More so than 7 did. Like 7's rooms and the way it, like, oh, I'll need something to open this room up later, wasn't quite as intricate as what that castle looks like.
No, yeah.
Castle seems large, a lot to it, a lot of enemies that are gonna be tough. The village seems quite big. I feel like we started like not even in the middle, like the last quarter of the village. I feel like was the demo.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a lot more to it, especially if you're talking about the fact that werewolves ride on horses and shit. Then there's like Heisenberg's factory. There's the weird hooded guy, fish guy, and his fucking weird reservoir thing. You have the woman in black and her wherever the hell she is. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite long.
Yeah, I think it's going to be longer than 7 for definite. And in a way, I think Ori 3, because of 8 was taking kind of a while to make.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ori 3 kind of felt like a game just to fill the gap between, right?
Yeah.
But they've also been really consistent with like releases by doing the remakes in between and little kind of mini stuff where like it's not like you go a very long time without a Resident Evil game for the last few years.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't really feel like I need that either. I don't mind having a big gap. It makes you want.
I don't.
More.
Yeah. But it's just they've kept
not
a good pace themselves for people who are like really into the series who like oh, I need this every day, you know.
Yeah, but they're not really doing it as well. Where it's because when did Resident Evil 3 come out? 2019.
It was last year, wasn't it? 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Oh, it was last year. Oh, okay.
Early 2020, I think.
Resi 2 was 2019.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, so they've had like a game every year since Ori 2 remake.
Yeah, it'll be worrying now. Will they get to the point? Will they start releasing 2 Resident Evils a year? There's a lot of
So
stuff.
what will get worrying is when they try to title Resident Evil 9 and they feel like they need to name it something so that they have IX or something in the title, and it just ends up with some bullshit name where you're like, Vixen.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. No, look, I love it too. It was fucking badass with 7. Like, really badass.
That's so good. Yeah.
It's either Biohazard Resident Evil and they had it in Roman numerals, or Resident Evil Biohazard and they had the 7 there on the Z, and I was like, that's amazing. In this one, it feels a little bit forced. It's like, Village itself is not a hugely compelling title, or subtitle even. Resident Evil Village. To me, anyway. I don't. Other people might feel like it's scary and ominous enough.
There must be another thing to it though, just because the way we saw it linger on age there.
The age thing,
there's just something else with it, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, because the font, the coloring in the font puts the emphasis on Vil, and that's how you catch the Roman numeral, right? But every trailer has then made that part disappear and put emphasis on age. And I didn't notice it all that much until this latest demo, and I was like, hold on, they've actually done that every time.
Yeah.
Why have they done that? And actually, if you're looking at it, it's like, okay, so Vil seems like it's the emphasis because it's a different color, but age is also a different color. So, yeah, it's interesting to me. I mean, you could take age as in like an era, and obviously there's nods at a much older era in this game. You could take age as in, you know, the age of someone, and there's a whole story built around a baby. There's even that image of the baby and the thing. Like, there's a lot that I don't know. They're everything they're doing is designed to make you fucking theorize, and I love that shit. I love that shit.
Lap it up.
Like, I watched Lost, all of it. So I love that kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Sometimes it's never as good as the theory, though, is it?
No, it never is. And there mightn't be
And that's
anything.
okay. It might be nothing.
It might be nothing.
Might be
And
nothing.
I'll be disappointed then.
I think so let down. But actually, I'm curious to know if anyone else has like theories of stuff they've seen. And at this point, it's not like anyone can spoil it. No one's actually played the full game, so it can only be stuff that you've either dissected from trailers or you've picked up on interviews or just stuff that you noticed in the demo that no one else has noticed. But if you have any kind of theories or anything that you want to point out, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump down into the comments. Let us know any theories that you have. And also let us know if you're planning on getting the game or what your thoughts are on the game so far. Either whether you've played it or you've watched some of the live streams that people have put out. If you're listening to us on audio platforms, you can touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Again, to let us know any theories you have and what's your excitement or criticisms or anything towards Resident Evil 8 so far. This has been kind of a first impressions of the game based on everything we've seen so far. There's actually one last thing I wanted to bring up that for me was a little bit of a letdown. I'm not trying to end on a down or anything. I'm still very excited about the game, but playing on the PS5.
Yeah.
I don't know if like this is because the demo is cross-platform, and then depending on the game you get might work differently or whatever. But no haptic feedback. I would have liked some.
Feedback.
I didn't feel any on the triggers or anything. I didn't.
I noticed a little bit when I like pressed X on things sometimes, and I was like, "This
like a slight kind of like
feels weird."
Resistance, but I didn't.
Not resistance, no, just like it kind of vibrated a little bit in a kind of a weird way. But we haven't gotten a chance to try out all the weapons, have we? So we don't know yet.
No, but I'm just saying.
And also,
far, I haven't experienced any.
It's a demo, and they do say at the start of each demo that it's not the full.
Yeah,
maybe it won't though, because it is a cross-platform game. I feel like a lot of that kind of DualSense features is probably going to be
much later into this generation.
Well, it's going to be pushed into the exclusives. All the exclusives will take advantage, but the third-party games might not waste their time just because they have to make it compatible with the Xbox as well. So
yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, it was just something that I kind of wanted to point out because it's it's a next gen game. It's something I'm kind of excited to see where haptic feedback goes on this particular title in the demo. So far, I haven't experienced that. Maybe in the actual PS5 game, because it's not going to be a demo that needs to be like across both. Maybe in the actual PS5 game it'll work, but I don't think it will. I actually don't think this game is going to utilize haptic feedback all that much because it is a cross-platform game.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to kind of point out or bring up, but maybe people feel differently. So again, if you're watching this YouTube, please give this video a like, hit subscribe, and click the notification bell so you know future content goes out, and do have a conversation with us in the comments about the game so far, any of your theories or anything you're enjoying or not enjoying about it. And if you're listening to us on audio platforms, hit follow, whether you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen to us. And do touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Again, to let us know your take on Resident Evil 8 so far. Are you getting it? Let us know. We'll be back to talk about more video games next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.